Make sure that we're nice and bright. Hey!
Hi! So you're with Grace and Melody.
Hi, guys.
This is something new that we're trying in 2018. Both of us come from very different backgrounds. I come from medicine and science.
And I come from the entertainment industry, music and dance.
And yet both of us have learnt kind of cool things about business through our respective industries.
Yep,
and one of the
right.
things that when we started talking that we noticed was that there was a lot of things that we'd learnt from our respective industries that helped us in business. So
yes.
Coming up is a podcast series on, I guess, what one can take away from these particular industries, particularly focused on the solo practitioner and solo practice professional business owner.
And we're really about extending a hand out to you if you're running a sort of business from your kitchen table, or you work alone a lot, maybe from home. It's really extending a hand out as other entrepreneurs to share from our experience, and just to make sure we're helping people build that network, and that there are other people out there that have often gone through what you're going through. So if there's any ways to circumvent any stresses or strains, we come together and we can really help each other accelerate out of any issues and go forward more powerfully.
So the topic today is, well, what happens if you're injured tomorrow, and what would happen to your business? And I was sharing with Melody that after my Breaking Bad compulsion, I've gone on to Better Calls. Recovering. It's only 5 years after like the series ended or something like that, but I'm on to Better Call Saul, and Kim Wexler, one of the characters, drove off the road after working, I think, double time on 2 cases. She fell asleep at the wheel, and then was injured, and as a lawyer unable to write anything. So what do you advise your customers? And actually in the entertainment industry, if you're injured, what happens?
Essentially, if you're injured, I mean, as a dancer, this actually happened to me. I was about to start a national tour, and the night before, I actually was injured and smashed my 5th metatarsal on my left foot. So, I was on crutches for 6 weeks. So essentially, I was out of the game. So I had no way at that time to earn any other income. So not only was I dealing with the actual pain and the realization of what I'd done, but also that I'd not done the contingency planning. I hadn't thought through. I just not thought that it would happen. You know, most of us don't think about something, until it happens to us or someone very close to us. So now I will help clients to think about what are the ways and things that they can do to create some services, some products that can be maybe automated or put into manual form or into a book form or video series, so that their clients can still purchase from them. They can still interact with their clients if for a temporary amount of time they're physically out of the game perhaps, but the business still can run. So I help them explore all of the ways that they can do that as efficiently as possible, which doesn't detract from their day-to-day management.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the surgeons and the I guess the health practitioners that we know that through our businesses. What happens if they're not able to show up to surgery the next day? Their shoulder is bad, or their neck is sore. How does that impact their practice? So if that practice side is not accessible to you, then there's got to be other skills or other lines of revenue that you can rely back on. So I know that there's certain practitioners who have lectureship positions, so they get to go out and they still bring in income through their teaching.
Great.
It might be consulting work, it might be a book that you've written, and it might be a series of other mentoring or I guess community-based activities that still may not bring in the revenue, but still gives you that sense of purpose going forward.
And it still helps keep your profile. It helps you keep in people's minds as well that you're still, there's still a lot of value for you to add to the community. I think also this idea of your, transferable skills. So, for example, mums who are thinking about getting back into the workplace, who may end up going for a home business because they're maybe too afraid, or they feel they're too behind, to go back into the workplace. But actually, raising children, running a household, there's so many transferable skills. So if it's not about showing up and getting paid for the hour, there's ways that you can share your expertise and help others. There's lots of other ways ways that people can do that. So
that's actually a really good activity and a great exercise, the idea of sitting down and listing all your transferable skills, or at least listing all your skills, and then thinking about what the other industries or what other clients may actually be open to those particular skills. So I was going to ask you, is there something like insurance for dancers? Is there?
There is. I mean, one of the things is to be, I was a member of Foundation for Community Dance, which deals with your indemnity, public liability and things like that. But of course, notoriously as self-employed people, the area of insurance is not particularly an easy one to navigate. There you go. So yeah,
it's a necessary evil in medicine.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. So I think the key thing for me was the diversification and making sure that I wasn't just changing time for money. And so that's really, after that experience, that's the way I choose to go. But absolutely, again, you have to obviously go to the professionals and source the right policy for you, as well. So that's part of your own personal due diligence, really. I wouldn't have a particular policy or anything that I would, that I'd recommend. Just research.
So you've just tuned in. We've just covered off 2 areas, so multiple streams of income as one area of contingency planning. And the second one is, of course, having insurance and other means by which to protect you and your line of your work should you be injured tomorrow. I thought it was interesting, Kim Wexler, going back to my Better Call Saul reference, when she got injured, she basically hit the couch and she was just like, you know what, this is me time. And it was almost like an eye-opening opportunity for her and Jimmy to actually sit back and reflect. So what should people be doing now that, they've got a couple of days up their sleeve before they go back to work?
Absolutely. I think sometimes these things, although they can feel traumatic at the time, if something's happened, then our job really is to really allow that process to occur, allow the if you will, the tear down in order for the renewal. In order to renew, sometimes we need to strip things back. So yeah, very much so. If it's something more of a burnout kind of situation where your body's just gone, sometimes it's taken out of your hands, right? You have to take the break. So I think that's obviously something that that's where the learning comes in. It's where the acceptance comes in, that right now some things need to change. And if there's coaches or other people that you can reach out to help you manage that period of transition and make sure that you don't have the same or similar kind of crisis again. And it's okay to take time sometimes. We're very, very focused on, forward momentum, let's go. But taking stock is okay. Sometimes the renewal, back to basics, look at things with fresh eyes a few days later, that can be a godsend sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. What I loved when I saw Better Call Saul, Kim, was that her secretary hit the phones, and the first couple of calls that day were out to clients, and this is what's happening with your project, and here's who's going to basically take care of your affairs afterwards. And I think that customer relationship management process of letting customers know where their project is at, and who is going to be responsible for, and that you have taken that time to actually give them a full handover because you care, is absolutely critical to making sure that there's a business there for you when you come back onto your feet.
Yeah, indeed. And certainly reaching out, having trusted partners that you can pass things back and forward. And yeah, it's the information really, is that the lines of communication open. Do your clients feel looked after? Certain things are unavoidable, but that side of it, it's really important to get out ahead of that and to think in advance. As part of this strategic and contingency planning is to, what's the length and the breadth of what we're doing, and make sure people feel taken care of. Because of course, if you take care of your clients will take care of you.
It's absolutely true. So any last thoughts as we wrap up?
No, it's been really fun to work with Grace today. We're very excited to start this new, powerful duo of women in Manchester. We hope to reach obviously beyond there as well, worldwide as well. I think we'll create some hashtags. We'll kind of get a bit of the conversation going. Sure. Let us know what's out there, what's happening for you guys, and we could put our heads together and deliver some answers for you and some other options going forward.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us.